So thank you so much for being here.
Mm,
Really, I appreciate it.
thank you.
Oh, absolutely. So um, talk to me about what you'd like to be coached about.
Hmm. Well, I'm realizing, Maria, that I have been overbooking myself for a while in my life, and it's really running me quite ragged. And I'm getting some feedback from some friends that I care about that it's affecting their ability to really rely on me and see me as a reliable person.
Wow, I hear you. I hear you. Now, while she's just sitting there, okay, and every time I speak about her, she's not listening. It's almost as though she has, you know, uh, other earphones on. But right now, I am absolutely dedicated to being her coach. And I don't have an agenda for her. I have really no idea yet what she specifically wants coaching on. But I can tell just by the way she's talking that there is something she wants to produce. So, look to see if that's something that you're beginning to see, even as this person is talking to us. So, going back to you, um, you said so many things in those couple of sentences, so many juicy things. Um, which part would you love to focus on?
I
Which,
love
go on.
the overbooking, the constantly keeping myself busy. It's not working anymore. And I almost feel like I can't control it.
Very good. I hear you. Um, when you say overbooking, you have something specifically in mind, yes?
Yes.
So it'd be useful to, let me see exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll literally plan to do two things at the same time. Yep.
Yes. Okay. Absolutely. So when you said that, you laughed. I laughed because I know what it's like to do it, but not intentionally.
Mm.
So you're saying that you intentionally book two things at the same time.
Yeah, it's strange. I'm getting better at it as I go through life more and more, but there's still times where I'll just have two things literally back to back that it's not possible for me to arrive on time to the next thing. And then I have to kind of deal with being late to meetings and appointments with people or disappointing people by ending something early. And I'm just tired of constantly doing this.
Absolutely. I can see it. Now, right now, you all can see that, can't you, that she's absolutely 100% committed in the matter of her life because she's talking about something she's uncomfortable with. And obviously, she doesn't want that to continue on, or else she wouldn't be talking about it in this way. And the interesting thing to see right now is that she has this sense that it's out of her control. So, isn't that often the case with us? When we come to see a coach, it's like, I have no control over this. So let's continue on. Jenny, keep talking to me about this.
Well, I've kind of been aware of this for a while,
Hmm?
and it's a call with a friend yesterday that had me go, oh, some people are feeling like I can't be relied upon. I'm not as reliable as a person. And that really kind
Wow.
of wakes me up to, all right, something's really got to change here.
Yes. Yep. This is huge.
It
Really
is.
huge, huh?
Mhm.
Especially when you hear your friends telling you this is, you're showing up as unreliable.
Mhm. And I'm sure he's not the only person, but he's just the person willing to give me that feedback.
Oh. Hmm. What do you see about that? Now, I'm going to pause when she goes like this. She's just really looking. So she's dropped into observation. Okay. Keep going.
Well, I do see that although it's uncomfortable, I'm grateful my friend is willing to offer me this feedback.
Yeah.
He's probably speaking for more people than might be willing to actually name it.
Yeah.
One thing I'm seeing is I think I have not always acknowledged the ramifications that my showing up late or having to shift things around last minute have had on other people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think I've expected a lot from other people.
Yeah. You're going like this.
Yeah,
What do you see when you go like that?
I don't like that.
No. And you are being incredibly authentic and truthful right now. I can just tell. Just getting to the bottom line. And when I see that in you, it tells me that you just really have had enough of this situation like this.
Yeah, I'm tired of thinking it's something outside of me, which I
Yeah.
have for a while.
Have you?
Yeah, what else would it be than me and my choices? No matter how important it all is, it really comes down to me
Yeah.
and the kind of assumed burden I've put on other people to deal with this kind of bad habit.
You say kind of bad habit.
Well, I'm such a good person and it's all so important. But when it comes down to people actually feel that they're not as important because of this tendency, I can't hide behind, well, I'm just a good person trying to do a lot of important things. I have to really wake up to, oh, people that I love and care about are feeling not as prioritized and important. That is more important than my belief that I'm doing so many important things and people will forgive me.
Yeah, yeah. And you were saying it's like it's a tendency.
Yeah,
Not like you're really doing it all the time. It's like a tendency, but I'm hearing that you're really doing it all the time.
too much. At this point in the game, too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
At this point in the game.
Yeah.
What do you think when you say that? At this point in the game, it's too much.
Mm. I don't need another wake up call around it. I've gotten a number of those wake up calls.
Oh, so this isn't the first time.
Oh no, no.
Hmm.
No. You know, there's been the 2019 was kind of the year of exhaustion. And so there's already that wake up call. And then it's something about really hearing from a friend that I care about a lot, the influence it has on his ability to really trust me.
Ah,
That feels like that's enough.
yeah, yeah. I hear it. I hear it. Now, it sounds like for her that this is bigger than she is. You know, like she has no control over it once again. But can you see right now that this wonderful person is, especially, you know, I mean, being as truthful and authentic as she's being right now, do you see that she is really much bigger than her thoughts and opinions and beliefs and doubts and conclusions? I mean, really, do you see that right now? I invite you to really look as you hear her talk, because she's telling the truth about something that is very important to her. And she's been a tremendous contribution to us all in doing it like this. Continue.
Yeah, I'm ready to reclaim my own skill as a woman, as a coach, as a person, to be able to better manage my commitments and to be a reliable person through all, that there's no exceptions. Be really reliable in some areas, and then I kind of require people to make exceptions for me in other areas. And I'm interested in that being across the board. I'm just, Jenny's reliable.
And so when you say Jenny's reliable, what's the picture you have when you're being reliable?
Oh, that I show up early and ready, prepared and available to even, support beyond myself. I don't require.
Do you have a pencil, piece of paper, a pen?
I do.
Okay, so let's write some of that down. What it is when you're showing up as reliable.
Mm-hmm.
So you said showing up early.
Early, prepared, and really available to support the thing I'm arriving at.
Okay. Do you see as she's writing down, folks, literally she has her own answers. You know, and it's wonderful to hear. So tell me what you're seeing as you're writing all this down.
That it's possible and that I can do it and that I've done it. And now I'm just wanting to be more reliable and consistent in it happening regularly.
So that sounded like a question. It happened regularly? Is that a question?
No. That it is within my control to say yes and no to opportunities and to really mean yes when I say yes.
Mm-hmm. So go on.
I want to be able to come to these meetings, appointments, experiences that I have with folks with a sense of I'm ready, I'm focused, and I wrote that there's an energy and a creativity. I'm not kind of still spinning from all the things I've just done, barely sliding into home base for the next one.
Give me an example so that I have a good sense of what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I had a couple days ago, I had a phone call that ended at 1:00, and I had a meeting starting at 1:00 in person that I had to drive to. So I finished the phone call while I was driving and then had to ask that the phone call be cut short so that I could arrive kind of sliding in the last minute to the meeting.
Got it.
My head still kind of spinning from what I was just doing, and then I'm requiring myself to now be ready.
Wow, I hear
Ready
it.
for the next thing.
Can you give me another example?
Oh, sure. How many do you want?
Now, as she's looking at it, one of the reasons I'm doing that is just to really have her become really clear about what this is all about for her. You know, it's one thing to have it in your mind, but it's another to speak a few examples out loud. And it's like, oh, shit. I really do this. This is not a tendency. This is me doing this. You know, a tendency means, well, I tend toward doing this from time to time. You know how we all are with that, okay? So I am not going to ask her to look at symptoms of monkey mind to see what monkey mind that might be, because it might be a couple of them in there. But in the interest of brevity, I'm not going to ask her, but I could, if we were to take a little longer time, to have her look at, okay, when you say I have a tendency, what monkey mind are you listening to? So, but for right now, I'm asking her to become very clear about her behaviors. So another example.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a similar one where I have a daily call that happens every day at the same time.
Okay.
And when a friend asks if I want to buddy up on working out together, the window between when that call should end and when the windows between things are very slim. And if everything goes perfect, then I'll probably slide in. But if anything takes a little longer than I anticipated, I'm kind of hurriedly trying to wrap up the last thing so I can hurriedly dive into the next thing I'm doing.
You're saying sliding and diving a lot.
Yeah, it feels like I'm kind of running my energy kind of high or hot. I'm always needing to be, there's not always a lot of pausing or spaciousness between some of my days and my appointments.
Got it. So another example.
I had an outdoor camping trip that I had planned that I'm aware of has little to no internet access. And I also signed up for this online course that would require internet access every 3 days. And then I'm on the phone with the person I'm coordinating the trip with, and I just so happened to mention, oh, by the way, I have this thing I need to do that requires internet access. And it's kind of this, you know that we're going somewhere fairly remote. How are you like, how is that possible? Like, there's some almost fantasy thinking, like, I'll just make it work. There's kind of this, I'll just make it work that can often require me and other people quite a lot of energy just to make it work. So I don't know that I really thought that through well, that those two may not fit easily together.
So this is not in keeping with who you are, is it?
No. It's quite exhausting.
It is exhausting.
And I'm doing a lot, but kind of falling short, which doesn't feel good.
Well, you're sliding and diving. And so that's what people get. And I imagine you're apologizing.
Apologizing, then having this sense of, do my words actually count much? Because I've apologized before. So there's a little bit of that, even worse than apologizing, but is it even counting anymore?
Yeah.
I get a little tired of apologizing too, let alone the people hearing it.
Yeah, because the first thing they get out of you is that you're showing up not as Jenny, but you're showing up as an apology.
Yeah.
Do you have your standards of integrity with you?
They're right here. I don't have them written in front of me, but I know them quite well.
Okay, in reviewing your standards of integrity, which, your taking action that produces a result. The result is that you're usually late. You're usually sliding in, so there's this flurry of activity in your space. And you're apologizing, even though you know it's not, doesn't mean anything. So let's do this. Make a list of some of your standards of integrity right now. So right next to this list of what it would look like to show up as who you really are versus this other way. And you made a list, right? Showing up as trustworthy and reliable. Now, make another list. Put as many of your standards of integrity that you can remember. And you're doing great work. Really, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
I mean, no, I'm seriously, it takes a lot to be truthful about this, you know?
Thanks.
So, read your standards of integrity. These are my standards of integrity. I am.
These are my standards of integrity. I am playful, curious, forgiving, dedicated, adventurous, generous, grateful, and compassionate.
I know they are mine.
I know they are mine because I see them in others.
Perfect. Now, with the list that you just made about being reliable, all those things, how do they map onto your standards of integrity?
Well, one of the things I have on my list is being the vision that I had, that I'm early, I'm prepared, and then available to support what's occurring in the present moment. To me, that really points to being generous.
Yes.
Which is probably one of my most important standards of integrity.
It is, isn't it? Yep. I can see, because just when you said generous, there's like this burst of energy.
Yeah. And being focused and creative, a little bit to the
Absolutely.
standard of integrity being playful.
Yes. And yeah, I mean, it sounds like when you are behaving in accordance with your standards of integrity, you show up as this reliable person.
Yes.
Which is who you really are, isn't it?
Yep.
And on the other hand, when you're doing the things you've done before, up until now, diving in, sliding in, apologetic, a flurry of kind of like energy in your space. When you're doing all that, which standards of integrity are you, actively going against? I guess is the only way we could say it.
Definitely generous because of how much I'm requiring of other people to give. I'm requiring apologies and forgiveness and requiring their patience, and I want to be generating that. And again, playful because I show up kind of with my tail between my legs and kind of hoping I'm not noticed, but clearly am. I don't feel very playful. I feel pretty kind of serious and shut down.
Oh, you're being such a contribution, just being so authentic, really. Anything else?
Yeah, just I think the standard of integrity of curiosity, where the energy is open and
Yeah.
available, I can
Oh,
come
yeah.
very closed.
Yeah. So it's known as incoherence. Hmm?
Yep.
And, on incoherence, at the beginning, when we're doing something and it's going against one or more of our standards of integrity, we feel frustrated. We experience frustration, I should say. If we've done it for a long period of time, we start experiencing resignation,
Yep.
which is where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to change. It's bigger than me. I don't have what it takes. But thank heavens you haven't slid, as you would say, into cynicism
Yeah.
yet. Yet. Yet.
Let's not go there.
Yeah, but cynicism, I can tell where it's about to become cynicism when you have a little smile on your face when you talk about it. Now, that smile, some of it could be absolute embarrassment because you're being so truthful, but there's a little something there
Mm.
that would have it keep going. So, have you had enough of doing it this way, really? I mean, we could wait until another friend calls you, or you don't get invited to things, or
Mm. Yeah, I don't need it to get any worse or last any longer or have any more friendships that need some repair. So I have had enough, and there's some repair work.
there is.
Mm-hmm.
Say more.
Um,
And you're
again,
doing a great job. Really, say more.
yeah, I feel that I've required of people. There's been a standard that people maybe have had to lower around their expectations of me, um, and I I want people to be able to uphold a reasonable expectation of what people can depend on me for.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
Yep. I see it.
not quite apologies, because it's more okay, the demonstrating it in action. um, yeah, the love bank, that metaphor of the love bank is low,
Mm-hmm.
I need to add a couple of deposits, and that's kind of what I mean by repair work. There's a few relationships I think that deserve some prioritization of ensuring that I'm really reliable, but I think really across the board in my life, that's just how I want to show up all the time.
Yes. Let's look at those important relationships. About how many are there that you need to repair?
Mm, there's the four people come right to mind, but there might be upwards of maybe six.
I've got it. So write those four names. I'm not going to ask you who they are, but just write those four names down.
Okay.
Okay. So these are people where it's important for you to clean some stuff up, right?
Yep.
How do you propose to do that? What would be a good way to?
Well, I've been in process, so it's underway.
What does that mean?
Um, so the person who shared with me just yesterday, they're really
Yeah.
having to question my sense of reliability. I spent about 2 hours yesterday really thinking about it, talking to a friend, getting their feedback about how they experience me so I could hear it from another way, and then called the friend back and shared that I've been thinking and processing and waking up to this dynamic, apologizing for the last most recent instance, and then so that's an example.
Okay.
And
So,
then agreed to take on some responsibility so as to demonstrate it, not just verbally say it.
like what?
That I would be the bottom line person on this upcoming trip that we're taking so that he doesn't have to worry about catching all the details, that I'm the person who's responsible.
Okay. Wow, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big thing.
It's better than I'm sorry.
That's a hell of a lot better.
I've already said that a few times and I'll
Yeah.
keep saying it, but I want my actions to speak louder.
Yes. And incidentally, I've discovered that saying I'm sorry it's almost worse than nothing. It's like a little band-aid on a huge gaping wound. But if you say I apologize,
Mm,
there's some substance to it. And sometimes when we apologize, it is useful to attach an action like, you can count on me to be the bottom line person on this trip.
mm-hmm.
And by the way, are you going to be on internet?
I was able to work it out so that didn't have to happen.
Good. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is wonderful. And my suggestion to you is that when we stop, that you, next to these other people,
Mm-hmm.
write down precisely what you're going to do
Mm-hmm.
and any action that you're going to take that demonstrates that you mean business, just
Mm-hmm.
like you did with this first friend.
Mm-hmm.
You did it beautifully.
Thanks.
Are you willing to do that?
Yes.
Wonderful. Great job.
Thank you.
No kidding. And so for those of you who've been listening to her, do you see that she is much bigger than her doubts and thoughts and worries, and that she does have a desire. She has goals and dreams and a desire to make a difference. And in this case, it's with her friends. You see that? And her community. There's probably people in her general community, even professionally, that she'll discover as she is on this journey of repair. She has all her own answers, doesn't she? You see them coming up? And what a contribution to us. And so I just want to thank you once again for
Thank you.
being here and allowing us to profit by your courage. So thanks.
My pleasure.
Mm.